What happens to my private area when I stop having sex for a long period of time? What happens to a man's penis when he stops having sex for a period of time? What happens to a woman's vagina when she stops having sex for a period of time? So let's roll in. Hi there, welcome back. Thanks for joining us in today's video. I'll be talking about what happens to a man or a woman when he or she stops having sex for a long period of time. There are several reasons why a man or a woman could stop having sex or could decide to be sexually pure or abstain from having sexual intercourse. Point number one, it could be religious reasons. It could be past experiences, emotional trauma. It could be an insecurity, and it could be a health reason. Whatever reason, if you're single particularly, that may have caused you to stop having sex, please do you. There's nothing wrong with you. This video is not to promote promiscuity. I'm somebody who promotes sex in marriage, not sex before marriage. There are a lot of disadvantages of having sex before marriage for both males and females, and especially for females. If you are a woman, you'll find it very difficult to bond with your spouse. More men you sleep with, the more it will be so difficult for you to bond with your husband. And for the man's sake, the more naked women you see, you don't value women. And for a woman, the more heartbreaks or traumas you get, the most likely it is for you to trust men, for you to believe that men are not the same. And it's the same for men as well. And when you have sex before marriage, there's a lot of trust issues. You defile your marital bed, and even while in marriage, even when you get married to the same man you had sex, or woman you had sex with before you got married to, you still have trust issues. There are a lot of things, and let's not even go into the soul tie covenants that are created. Why don't we just wait and get married to the right person, and then we can enjoy? The truth is that the sex you have in marriage is way more emotional connected, more respectful, more honorable, more valuable, more enjoyable, desirable, pleasurable than what you have before sex, even if it is the person you intend to get married to. There are a lot of disadvantages of having sex before marriage. So before I dive into the topic, I would like to debunk certain myths and fallacies that are woven around in different communities and on the minds of both men and women concerning abstaining from sex or sexual purity. So debunking the fallacies and the myths concerning men. When a man stops having sex for a long period of time, point number one, your penile length or your penis length doesn't reduce. Your penis doesn't become shorter. Number two, you don't develop erectile dysfunction. You don't develop weak erection, or you don't become a 1-minute man. So debunking the fallacies and the myths concerning women who don't have sex for a long period of time. Point number one, your hymen does not regrow. Point number two, abstaining from sexual intercourse is not a method of vagina tightening. Point number three, your vagina does not close up. That means your vagina does not shut. It's impossible. Your vagina is used for childbirth and is also used for menstruation. So there's no way your vagina can just close up. And there's no way your hymen is going to regrow, even if you stop having sex for 20 years. It's impossible. So let's dive now into the real topic for today. And we're going to start with the men. What happens to a man when he stops having sex for a long period of time? Point number one. It is important for a man to always have morning erections, or what is called morning wood. Your morning erection is like a measure to determine if your penis health is awesome. So if you're having morning erections regularly, it indicates that you have a good penile health, or that you are in good health. So if a man stops having sex for a long period of time, and he is still having his morning erections, then he's in good health. So what happens if you stop having sex for a long period of time is your erection length reduces. Now, there's a difference between your penis length and your erection length. There's something we call a shower or a grower. When a man's penis is flaccid and when he has an erection and the erectile length isn't much than his flaccid length, we say he's a shower. But when a man's penis is at a flaccid state and when it becomes erect, his erection length is really noticeable, then we say he's a shower. That means that his erectile length is really something you notice. So what is going to happen when you stop having sex for a long period of time is that your erectile length reduces. But when you start having sexual intercourse again, this erectile length is restored, whether you are a shower or a grower. But it does not reduce your original penis length at its flaccid state. But when you have an erection, the length is not going to be as it used to be. But when you start having sex again, it is restored. Point number 2 is that you find it very difficult to get aroused. You lose sensitivity around that area, especially around the cap of your penis. And that is normal. And this gets restored when you start having sex again. Point number 3, you may have shorter orgasms or longer orgasms when you start having sex again. And that is normal. And as you continue having sex with your spouse, it's going to be restored. It's going to be restored. You will not develop erectile dysfunction. Remember, if you were having erectile dysfunction before you stopped having sex for a long period of time, you're always going to have erectile dysfunction. So try sorting out the problem you are having and not thinking that abstaining from sexual intercourse is going to treat erectile dysfunction. Now, to the ladies. What happens to a lady when she stops having sex for a long period of time? Point number 1, a decrease in libido or in sex drive. A decrease in sensitivity. That means she doesn't get or she will not get aroused easily. And this is normal. But when she starts having sex again, all of this is restored depending on how she is, depending on how her body is. Point number 2, a decrease in the elasticity of the vagina. Imagine a rubber band that has been stretched for a long period of time. Then when left, it goes back. So when a woman doesn't have sex for a long period of time, the elasticity of her vagina decreases. And this will depend on if she's premenopausal or she's menopausal. And this elasticity is regained when a woman starts having sex again. And this regain or restoration of elasticity of the vagina would depend on if the woman is in menopause or is in premenopause. So women are different. Please bear in mind that reduction or the reducing of the elasticity of the vagina is different from vaginismus. So what happens in these cases? It's very difficult for penetration to occur in the 1 or 2, 3 times that the woman wants to start having sex again. But when she starts having sex again, penetration is going to be normal. And also, she's going to experience a little discomfort, not pain. With vaginismus, she experiences pain. But with the reduction of the elasticity of the woman's vagina due to abstinence, all she's going to experience is a little discomfort. So there's a difference between vaginismus and abstinence for a woman. Point number 3, it may take longer for a lady to have an orgasm when she starts having sex with her spouse again. That means that she would be trying to focus on having an orgasm or trying to understand what sex is again to her before she reaches climax. And that is normal. In the first or second or third time that she starts having sex with her spouse. But from the fourth, fifth time, everything gets back to normal. And the last point is she starts having a little bit of tension and anxiety. And to some extent, some fear. You'll be wondering like, what is going on? What is going on? And this is why it's important for you to have sex with your spouse, somebody whom you are emotionally connected to, somebody that you trust and that you can be vulnerable with. Because if you do this with somebody that you are not vulnerable with, you don't trust, or you are not emotionally connected to, it may really hurt you if you guys don't end up together. There's a lot of disadvantages of having sex out of marriage that, we don't really focus on. There's a lot of disadvantage. Most marriages that have lasted are marriages that have actually kept this area of their life till they got married. So whatever your reason is that you decided to be sexually pure or abstinent or to be celibate, please, if you are single, that's okay. But if you were married, it's not normal for you to deny your spouse of intimacy. It's not normal for you to abstain or be sexually pure. When you are married, you have an obligation to your spouse. So if you notice that you are beginning to abstain or try to be sexually pure or withdraw from your spouse, please seek help from a therapist. And if you are a Christian, meet a pastor, read your Bible, go for deliverance. It will help you a lot. So thank you for joining me in today's class. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you. And if you just hopped on this channel on this video, don't forget to like, share, and comment. Join the family. Till next time.